Hey guys, it's your Fit Doc, aka Kristen Simone, and I'm back with your weekly dose of medicine. Today we're going to get into how much a medical scribe gets paid. I'm hoping that this video is as successful as my pharmacy technician video. If you have not seen that one, check it out. And yeah, without further ado, let's get started. Before I start today's video, I just want to remind you all to like, comment, and subscribe and share this channel, you all. I feel like, I want to reach as many people as I can with this information. I'm just so excited with all of my accomplishments, and I want to be able to help others reach those same accomplishments and just continue to be inspiring and motivating. So please, if you know anyone that is in the healthcare field or is just interested in learning about this kind of thing, don't forget to just share my videos, like, comment, and subscribe. It does not go unnoticed, and it's free, but it does wonders for me. So I really appreciate it, and now we can move forward into the video. I worked as a medical scribe, not for that long, and I'll go into my reasons for that later on in the video, but I worked as a medical scribe, and I thoroughly enjoyed my experience as a medical scribe. If you have not seen my day in the life of a medical scribe video, please don't forget to look at it. I'm going to tag it up here so you can make sure that, you can look at it, because I felt like I learned a lot from that experience. And whenever I filmed that video, I think I had just started working there, so I was very much overwhelmed. But after the fact, I felt so good about that experience. I loved it. I worked with a hematologist and oncologist, or a hem-onc physician. You may hear that because hematology and oncology go together, I think, whenever you're learning about them, I think. So anyways, I worked with a doctor that did both of those, specialized in both of those areas, and I learned so much. I loved that experience. I honestly would have worked there up until me going to medical school, but like I said, I'll explain those reasons later. And you'll probably start to understand whenever I start to tell you about these paychecks. So let's just get right into it. So y'all, you see this first check, right? This is my first check from June 25th, 2021. And I started in the beginning of June, and my check was $156. And you know how whenever you first start, working somewhere, and your first check or maybe your first two checks are kind of off because you kind of came in the middle of the pay week or whatever. That's kind of what happened to me. But also, whenever I first started, the doctor that I was working with already had taken off some days to travel. So whenever, the thing about being a medical scribe is whenever you're first training, if your doctor takes off, you are off too. I mean, unless you can step in and scribe for the other doctor, which at the time I couldn't do that because I was still new. I was still in training, so I didn't have the option to go and work for another doctor. That way I could still get paid. So there were a couple of days in there where I wasn't getting paid. And also, the clinic that I worked at, the doctors work 4 days out of the week, so they get 1 day off. They have one day that's an administration day where they go to meetings and they do whatever else they need to do administrative wise. So I really was only working there 4 days out of the week. So that was partially why, my checks were a little bit off. But my first check was $156.46. I also failed to mention that I caught COVID. The worst possible situation ever. I felt so bad because I didn't even know I had it, to be honest. I had a headache, but I figured it was just because I had been on the computer for more than I was used to. Working as a scribe, that's really all you're doing. You're on a laptop, you're on the computer, you're pre-charting, you're typing, that's all you're doing. And I had a headache for 2 weeks or so. So I was like, maybe it's just behind my eyes, I need to wear my glasses. I was trying to wear my blue light glasses and things like that. But then I realized, okay, I'm starting to feel a little bit worse. I'm getting muscle aches. Let me just take a test. Tested positive, so I was out for some of those days as well. So that's part of why my check was so little, because I think I ended up having to be out for a whole week. Also, training was $7.25. So I was in training for about 6 weeks. That got delayed a little bit because I had COVID, so it kind of got pushed back an extra week and a half. And so that is why my checks were so little, because I was only getting paid $7.25. Okay, let's go into July. My check was still little, and I think that is because it still affected me. The COVID thing affected my check this time because, yeah, it was just a lot. But this is when my check started to get real juicy, right? Let's move to August 6th, okay? So y'all see how I just jumped from like $150 to $741.03. Like, that is crazy to me. And I'm going to tell you what I was doing. Your girl was trying to understand all the terminology, y'all. I was so confused. Imagine, I had never worked as a scribe before, okay? That I didn't do family medicine. I didn't do peds. I did nothing. I did nothing general. I came in here with pharmacy technician experience only. And when I tell y'all, there were days where I was working 12-hour days. I was showing up at 7 a.m., leaving at 7 p.m., 8:30 p.m. Like, I'm trying to sit here, I'm trying to learn what is PT2, PNAP, MX mean? Like, what does that mean? What does stage 1A ductal carcinoma mean? Like, I'm trying to understand what all this stuff means. And on top of that, she was teaching me about boundaries, and she was saying, like, there were just certain things that she felt that the primary care doctors should have kind of been doing. So she was tracking different things like their electrolytes and things like that. So I had to keep track of that as well. Your hyponatremia, hypernatremia, hypokalemia, hyperkalemia, things like that, kidney function, liver function, which are things you have to watch out for anyway if a person's on chemo. So anyways, I had to learn all that stuff, y'all. When I tell you, like, I would come home and I would sometimes have headaches because I'm just like, oh my gosh. Like, my first day working there, I learned about, so we work with primarily breast cancer. We did a lot of prostate as well. Breast cancer, prostate, bladder, testicular, and then we also did blood disorders like multiple myeloma, MGUS, which is like a precursor for multiple myeloma, beta thalassemia, or is it thalassemia? I should know, but those, iron deficiency anemia. We had very little leukemia. Oh yeah, what's the other one? Low platelets, like, so thrombocytopenias, thrombocytosis, neutropenias, leukopenias, leukocytosis, like all of those, we worked all of those, okay? So when I tell you, I would come home some days and I'll be like, I would talk to my boyfriend and I would like be mentioning to him like, bruh, how in the world am I going to learn all this? How in the world am I going to know all this? I'm confused. We have 20 patients tomorrow. Like, what am I going to do? And there'll be times where, we would have 19 patients, 18 patients. We wouldn't have those patients all the time. But we would have so many patients to where it's like, okay, we have 18 patients. We've seen 7 of them. I've not completed 1 note. And it's because, like, there's so much going on in the visit. And so I know I'm kind of scaring you all because it scared me. It sounds scary to talk about it on the camera. But you will get through it because I got through it and I learned so much. And there was, after a while, I was like, boom, 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 finish note, boom, 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 finish note. You can do it. But with that being said, going back to the paychecks, that was why my check was so big, because I had to do that over time. And I wasn't doing it to get paid. I was doing it because I needed to work. Like, literally, when I was doing overtime, I was doing that overtime because I needed to catch up on notes. I needed to pre-chart. Pre-charting is going to be your best friend when scribing, especially for a specialty doctor. So, there were some times, like I said, we would have 19 patients, 18 patients. Even if we only had 14 patients, I still wanted to make sure that I pre-charted for each and one of those patients. That way, whenever I got into that room the next day, I would already be prepared and I could finish notes faster. So that's what I was doing for really the first couple months that I was working there, because I knew that I needed it and I knew that she had to get those notes completed at a certain time. So that explains this check for August. And still with this, the next check, $609, like, I was working more than what I was supposed to, because really, y'all, I went through this whole video and I did not even tell y'all how much I was getting paid an hour. $10 an hour, okay? So really around September, my check was about $563. And that's really what my checks were looking like every 2 weeks. Whenever I got into my groove, like whenever I got into the swing of things and I was able to, be able to actually leave before 5 p.m. on a Friday, that was what my checks were looking like, around $500, $563 every 2 weeks, because like I said, I was getting paid $10 an hour and we only worked 4 days a week. So if we did, you do the math, we did more than an 8-hour day, but let's just say I did an 8-hour day just for like logistics, I guess. 8 times 4 is 32. 32 times 10 is 320. 320 times 2 is 640. Take out taxes, 563, or 500, around the 500s. So that's about what I was getting paid pretty much as a medical scribe. And to be honest, you all, I had to end up picking up a second job. I worked at Firebirds as a server, and I went ahead and supplemented that income because your girl had to pay for supplemental applications. So that supplement was going to that supplement, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I had to pay for primaries, and I had to pay for secondaries, And I was like, you know what, this math ain't math, and I'm gonna have to do some extra work because it just wasn't gonna work. Like, it literally was not gonna work. And I was like, you know what, at the time I was still working as a scribe, and I got into medical school at that point, and I had kind of noticed that I was kind of feeling a little burnt out. And I think it was because I literally have so much to do at work, and then I'll come home, have to do so many secondary applications, and then some days I'll be going to work at Fireworks after work. Like, some days I would do 14-hour days where I would go in to the office at 7, I would leave at 5:30, I would go to work at 6 and work until 11 p.m. and I would go back to work the next day and do it again. So I was really like stressed out. That really weighed heavy on my mental health, and it really affected me way more than I thought, emotionally and mentally, in a way that I'm not necessarily proud of. And so I had to just take a step down and be like, you know what, I got accepted into school and I did my job. I really love this job, but at the end of the day, I need to start saving money for medical school, and I need to start paying back my debt because I had to kind of use some of my credit cards to pay for these secondary applications because I just didn't have it all at the time. So that's exactly what I did. I ended up stepping down as a medical scribe. I got another job, and I was able to get myself back on track, and I was so happy that I did that because I will say working as a scribe is not for the weak. You don't get paid that much. It really is more like an internship. And I even got offered to work as like a regional trainer, and those get paid around like $15 an hour. And really I had to kind of like negotiate that to get it to like 16, but it still wasn't enough for me. So I ended up turning that down, and I work as a pharmacy technician now. I work in like an office setting. If y'all are interested in learning about that, let me know in the comments below, because y'all seem to like my pharmacy technician videos more than you like my medical school videos for some reason. That's okay, because that'll change. That'll change. You can make up to, I guess, $16 working as a regional trainer, and I'm sure there are higher ups as well if you're trying to get into management and things like that. But I do know that, like, for my company specifically, I'm definitely not going to name the name. I can't really name names at all, but there was a lot of turnover, so I don't think that they were getting paid much either. I mean, I really, really don't. And to be honest, the health insurance bundles were terrible, taking up half of my check. I didn't even get health insurance. I ended up having to go through Affordable Care Act because it was taking up all my check. It would have taken up all of my check if I had continued to like pursue this health insurance. Like, absolutely not. So I don't really think that the company is really for you, for real, to be honest, as far as benefits and things like that. I really think of it more as an internship, as a way to get by, be able to grab those experiences and make those connections, get your letters of recommendation, and cherish those experiences. Because when I tell you, I still remember those patients, and I honestly did not want to leave. I didn't want to leave, but I had to because my financial situation would not allow me to stay there. But I love those patients. I still remember their names. I still remember their, like, you know, their temperament. I still low-key want to text my doctor and be like, what's going on with so-and-so? Like, how are they doing? You know what I mean? Have they finished their treatment? Like, what's going on now? Like, I really want to know. Like, I love them. Like, for real. Like, I can't even explain it. So I didn't want to leave again, but I had to. And that was really all it was. So I love the experience. Unfortunately, I couldn't stay that long because of the pay. I would say that if you're looking to do this, I would just suggest supplementing your income, right? If you're not necessarily looking to apply to medical school yet and you want to have like just a year of experience in your belt, I would say supplement your income. I know that if you're working in the ER, if you're working in the ED, like, it depends on your hours and the days that you're working part-time, full-time. I know that plays a role in like how much money you're going to make. And I can't speak on what your hours would be like, what your pay would be like. But what I can say is that if you're working in a clinic, it'll more than likely be 4 days out of the week that your doctor will be there. And at least that's how it was for me. And so that has to kind of play a role in your decision making as well, because you may have to pick up a part-time job if you're only going to be working 4 days out of the week for your main job, because that's really only like 32 hours, maybe 35 hours depending on how long you're staying at the office. So that will be my suggestion to you. If any of you know any medical scribes, or if you're a medical scribe and you're watching this video, comment below your experience. I'd love to know, and I'm sure others that are watching this video would love to know as well. So again, if you made it through this video and you've gotten this far, thank you so much. Thanks so much for supporting me, and it does not go unnoticed. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. Share this channel. Share the channel. Thank you so much, y'all, and that's it for this video. That wraps it up. Hope you learned something from this video. I hope you gained something from this video. And without further ado, see you in my next one. Peace.